Something that Sonic games are peak at making are supersonic boss fights. These boss fights will either make the game peaker or less peak. So today, I'll rank every supersonic boss fight from worst to best. Let's start. Number 22 is Sonic Superstars. This is by far the hardest supersonic boss fight in the series. You have to dodge a lot of attacks and black holes that kill you instantly. Boosting won't help either cause you lose a lot of rings. You also can't attack him unless he wants you to. Not to mention there's 2 phases which makes it worse. This is definitely the worst supersonic boss fight ever. Number 21 is Sonic Advance. In this boss fight you fight on the moon that was destroyed in Sonic Adventure 2. In this time you fight a literal transformer. The fight is easy, which is what I need in a boss fight. The bad thing is that it's too short. The whole setting in the moon is peak and all. The boss fight itself is just mid. Number 20 is Sonic Advance 2. This boss is better than Advance 1, but still not too insane. The robot's design is trash, the setting is cool though. Other than that, it's an okay boss. Hi guys, I'm just here to say that in this video there will be a lot of collabs with YouTubers. So some of them will be talking about some of the boss fights. Back to the video now. We're now moving to a tier. This is better bosses, but still not peak. Number 19 is Sonic Mania. I'll be honest, this boss is kinda overrated. I think the build-up to this boss is better than the boss itself. The music is perfection like always, but beating to enemies at the same time feels insane. Super Sonic also takes damage in this one. He should never take damage. Number 18 is Sonic Rush Adventure. I'll admit that this game is mid. This boss fight does make it better though. Super Sonic and Burning Blaze team up again to fight the Egg Wizard. This boss is slightly worse than the one from the first Rush game, but some things make it better. It's easy, which is cool. There's nothing much to talk about. This boss is decent. Number 17 is Sonic Rush. Super Sonic and Burning Blaze team up for the first time to take down the Egg Salamander. This game is peak, and the boss is good. The music goes hard and it's easy, but it has some problems. The game relies on timing attacks, which is something I'm not good at. Sonic and Blaze are also playable separately, but I don't mind that. Number 16 is Sonic Generations. This boss is insanely overhated. I'm not saying it's peak, it's decent but gets too much hate. 2 Super Sonics fighting to Eggmans and 1 Time Eater is peak. It sounds like I'm glazing this boss, so I'll say the bad things. The dialogue is a little annoying. The setting is kinda bland, and it doesn't feel as intense as other supersonic boss fights. Once again, this boss isn't peak, it's just overhated. Number 15 is Sonic Advance 3. The boss fight is definitely the best one in the Advance trilogy. Sonic and Eggman literally team up to beat Gemerl. Eggman finds his weak spot and Sonic attacks him. This boss actually hits hard and it's easy, which is what I love. The only bad thing is that the music is mid. Number 14 is Sonic Unleashed. Another overrated boss. There isn't anything in this boss that is so peak. It's easy and hard at the same time. How is that possible? The music isn't much either. I'm not hating on this boss though, it's actually good. I just think it's overrated. Number 13 is Shadow 05. A good boss fight from a peak game. This is similar to the one in ESA 2, except Shadow has more abilities now. Shadow also turns super by himself, which is peak. This boss fight is edgy, dark, and intense. The writing is also peak. We're now moving to S tier. This tier has peak bosses with peak music and graphics.
Next up is Perfect Chaos. Pretty mid boss in my opinion. It's not bad necessarily, but not very good. What you have to do is hit his brain at Mach 70. Sounds fun, right? Not really, but Open Your Heart is really good. But I do hate how it fades out in the second phase. And I also hate some of his attacks. Like, they spread everywhere and hit you. And not to mention, this boss is a bit too easy for me. Sorry, Blade. But hey, at least not as easy as the Final Hazard or the Titan bosses. Or him. Something I would have wanted for this boss though is a better atmosphere, kind of like SA2's. Also, fun fact about me, when I first played this boss, I got skill issued very hard. I died about 15 times, so I gave up, cried, and went downstairs to my bed. But then the next day I came back, and I beat it first try. Like what, did I gain skill overnight? I'm so confused. But hey, I'm not mad though. But once I finally beat him, all's well that ends well. Right? Get out! Well, that's it for me.
Sonic Frontiers is one of my favorite games in the franchise. The first boss, Giganto, is one of the best boss fight in the series. The music is cinema, sets the stage for boss fight when you climb on top of Giganto to get the emerald to turn into Super Sonic. This boss fight gives you a cool atmosphere. I don't have to say much because everyone loves Frontiers. Also, the fact that Giganto literally eats Sonic when Sonic run out of rings is so funny.
Number 10 is Wyvern from Sonic Frontiers. Just like Everfinity said, Sonic Frontiers is one of my favorite Sonic games with the best bosses. In this boss you have to fly and chase Wyvern. When you catch up to him he'll start throwing missiles at you, and the QTEs in this boss are so peak. The music also hits so hard. Number 9 is Knight from Sonic Frontiers. The boss is peak cinema. Literally almost anything in this is peak. It's a lot more intense than the other bosses. The music also hits so hard again, and Sonic literally slices Knight in half with his own sword. This is one of the coolest moments in the game, and one of the best boss fights. Number 8 is Sonic Heroes. Again, another overrated boss. It's not a bad boss, it's actually peak. I just think completing all 4 stories to get to this boss is not worth all that effort. The music is good, but still a little overrated. Other than that, it's still an amazing boss fight. Number 7 is Supreme, or the End from Sonic Frontiers. This boss is not overrated, but I'll tell you why it's an S and not SS tier. The boss doesn't really tell you what to do, you just have to guess. So all I did was punching Supreme the whole time. But that's the only thing keeping it from SS tier. All the other things are a cinematic heaven. Sonic gets another super form, Super Sonic 2, also known as Starfall Super Sonic. And bro, everything from the peak setting and atmosphere to the quick time events are peak cinema. And Sonic gets another super form, Super Cyber Sonic. And things get crazy. I really wanted to put this boss in SS tier, but all the other upcoming bosses are better in my opinion. We're now moving to the final and best tier, the SS tier. This tier has the best bosses in every Sonic game with everything peak. Doomsday Zone is the definition of peak. This is how you do it to D Super Sonic final boss. Everything in this boss is peak. The setting, the music, the robot design, everything is peak. If you collected the Chaos Emeralds or the Super Emeralds, you will still get this boss. Sonic tries to catch up to Eggman to finally get the Master Emerald. When you do catch up to him, he'll start shooting lots of missiles, so you have to throw them back. Then he'll make a final attempt at escaping, so you'll have to keep attacking him. This boss is a masterpiece, one of the greatest Super Sonic bosses, and a great ending to the classic games.
Next up is SA2's Final Hazard. In this boss, we take turns playing as Super Sonic and Super Shadow, with the main objective being to hit these pink weak spots on the Bio Lizard, who just merged with the Ark. He has only 2 types of attacks, his pink laser and these weird balls he sends flying at you. All you have to do is boost into his weak spots like 5 times and you're done. Yeah, it's kind of mid compared to other bosses on this list, with the atmosphere carrying it insanely hard. Like seriously, if it wasn't for the cool space setting and Live and Learn playing in the background, this would have easily been one of the most forgettable bosses on this list. But I guess one could argue this boss isn't supposed to be remembered for the fight, but remembered for the moment.
Sonic and the Secret Ring's final boss, aka Alf Layla Will Layla, is probably my favorite final boss in the whole Sonic series. And I know what you're thinking. And yeah, that response is fair. Most people that have played Secret Rings probably have never even gotten to the final boss, and I feel bad for them, to be honest. I personally think it's the best part of the game, and I'll explain why. First, I'll start with the motion controls, probably the biggest problem people have with not only the boss itself, but for the game in general. And I can kinda understand it for the game, although I still don't think the controls are bad, but for the final boss, I think the motion controls make the fight 10 times better. You'll be shaking the Wii Remote for the majority of the fight, which makes each hit and attack feel like they have so much more power to them. It's kind of an experience that you have to try for yourself in order to understand, but basically the motion controls make it feel like you are Sonic. You're making an effort to swing the Wii Remote and attack, and I just love that. The first time I fought the boss, I was literally sweating after it was over by how much I was shaking the Wii Remote. It was the best workout ever. That's pretty much the main reason I love the boss. I also love the void-like environment. It looks pretty cool, and Darkspine Sonic. Do I even have to say anything about him? He's the coolest thing ever. The music is also such a banger. Seven Rings in Hand does play a lot throughout the game, probably too much, but it does fit really well for the boss itself. To summarize, this fight is absolute cinema. Great music, such a cool vibe, and simply makes you feel pure power and adrenaline. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thanks Blade for allowing me to be in this collab. Do appreciate it. Anyway, on to the next boss. Let's go.
That's the greatest of the sacred swords! Excalibur!
Let's do this!
Sonic and the Black Knight final boss is one of the peakest boss fight ever. The music, the setting, everything is peak. Sonic's new form, Excalibur Sonic, is also one of the coolest super forms. We can't forget about the peak writing in this game. Black Knight is already a good game and this boss makes it better. Just like Secret Rings, you also do a lot of shaking and moving with the Wii Remote. This game isn't that peak, but I do know someone that thinks is the best game ever. And I also think this boss carries the game, but some other things are also peak. Black Knight is kinda underrated, and this boss proves it. Say what you want about Sonic 06 being bad, but admit that this boss fight is peak cinema. Playing as Super Sonic, Super Shadow, and Super Silver is so peak. Almost everything about this boss is peak. The setting, the music, the writhing, all peak. The only thing I don't like is that in the second phase, it gets a little bit harder. Sonic 06 is a little underrated, it deserves more love. I would have put this in number 1, but I think the last boss fight is even better.
The time has come, Shadow.
Agreed. Time to sever this bond between us forever.
That's right, Neo Devil Doom is my favorite boss fight in the series. Everything in this boss is peak cinema. The music, the setting, Black Doom's cool new form, the peak poses, the quick time events, everything is peak. I'll admit that the first phase is a little boring and annoying, but that doesn't matter, cause when you get to the second phase, things get peaker. Everything from the camera shots and QTES in this boss is the definition of peak. And when you beat the boss, that's when things get even crazier. Shadow uses Chaos Control during a Chaos Control. Shadow kicks Black Doom's face. and punches through Black Doom, ending the boss fight, easily the best boss in the series. And that was my ranking of supersonic bosses. If you enjoyed, then subscribe. Peace.